Welcome to the Primo's Musings podcast.
Good morning. This is Sri Primo with a quick analysis on week 7 of the NFL. Before we get to the each and every analysis, the one thing that I did want to quickly mention was the two Monday nights that happened yesterday. Ravens have continued to impress me. They fell down early to the Buccaneers, but came back and won it by 10 points. Lamar was pretty good, 5 touchdowns. He didn't throw for more than 22, 17 for 22, but just 281 yards. But just showing like Derrick Henry, adding Derrick Henry to the mix, definitely with 15, 170 yards rushing. And even Lamar Jackson had his own 50 plus yards. And then just distributing the ball to multiple 8 or 9 wide receivers and tight ends definitely shows that Ravens are back. They're now 5-2. Buccaneers dropped to 4-3. The other match was the Cardinals, winning over the Chargers. The Chargers again continue to disappoint. This is every year their story. Harbaugh, I thought would come and change some of the culture, but it's the same thing. But let's focus on the two undefeated teams that were going in this past week. One was the Vikings, and the other one was the Chiefs. The Vikings had a very close game, went back and forth. They went, and the Lions were driving in, and the Vikings were able to scoop the ball with about 4 minutes to go up. But give credit where it's due. Jared Goff has been just playing spectacular. No mistakes. Again, 2 touchdowns. Jamar Gibbs and Montgomery. I mean, you can call them the new Thunder and Lightning. I mean, Montgomery didn't have big of a run game, but still, they do have the two-headed monster. And then Amon Ross and Brown, just phenomenal, um, with 112 yards from 8 catches and 1 touchdown. So definitely, the the Lions seem to be the team right now. They're 5-1. The Vikings just dropped to 5-1 as well. Sam Darnold had a decent game at the office, but it was not enough to beat the Lions. So with the Lions now taking the lead there, they seem to be a clear-cut favorite in the NFC to represent in the Super Bowl. On the other hand, on the AFC side of things, the Kansas City Chiefs continue to roll. They go to 6-0. They beat the Super Bowl. It was a Super Bowl rematch between Kansas City and 49ers. 49ers did lose a lot of players. Deebo Samuel got down with the flu earlier. Chiefs also lost some Juju Smith-Schuster early in the game. But just give credit to where it's due. The Kansas City defense was just phenomenal against Brock Purdy, turning him over like three interceptions. One was a mistake in the end zone, and then the other one was also very close to the red zone. And the Chiefs' defense continued to impress. They continue to keep them in the game. And then Mahomes, despite having one off very poor, he had a 44 rating, but this is something that you talk about. There's only like 4 to 5 quarterbacks in the last 20 to 25 years that have that clutch gene that they can rally the team around and bring them back in the fourth quarter. Mahomes had two big plays. One was the 30 to 40 yard rush where it seemed like it was going out of bounds, came back and then ran for another 20 yards. And then on a 4th and 1 play, snuck it into the end zone. This is something that like I said, my friend Amit always says, it's the clutch gene. And Brady, who was with the Patriots, had that every time going to the fourth quarter, despite having a very mediocre performance through the 3 quarters, will continue to bring the team back, riding on the defense sometimes, and then bringing the team back to victory. And that's exactly where the Kansas City Chiefs are. Like I said, the Ravens continue to impress me at 5-1, but the team to beat right now is Kansas City because either the Ravens or the Bills will have to go into Arrowhead right now to take on the Chiefs, which is not an easy feat by itself, especially in January. But we still have a long way to go. We are only 6 games in. There's still 11 more games to go. The Chiefs do have some big matchups coming against the Bills as well. But right now, I see no team in the AFC uh, competing with the Chiefs, because one thing what the Chiefs have is that they have players at all different um, aspects of the game, from offense, defense, and special teams. And the defense definitely keeps them in the game for a long time. They're able to generate a lot of pressure, 3-man rush, 4-man rush. This guy Spagnolo is a genius when it comes to this, and he continues to come up with exotic packages. And the same on the offensive side of things. Andy Reid comes up with some excellent plays. I mean, even on the game against 49ers, there was a reverse sweep. There was Patrick Mahomes running all over the place. Patrick Mahomes getting those third downs to some players not named Kelsey. And this is the way that the Kansas City Chiefs have been winning this season. In fact, when you look at the stats for Patrick Mahomes, he has 6 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. That's not something you would say of a Hall of Fame quarterback. But guess what? When it comes to the fourth quarter, they do right on Mahomes, and Mahomes is able to bring them back. Mahomes knows that the defense has to stop the other team, so he goes and puts up another big score, and then that helps the defense set up their schemes appropriately. Because once the other team is behind by 8 or 9 points, their defense just tees up on the other team. The other big matches that we did see um, in the in week number 7 was the Texans falling down to the Packers. Um, and the Packers, definitely, that's the NFC North is the division right now, because you have the Vikings and Lions at 5-1. You have the Packers at 5-2, and then the Bears at 4-2. One of the best. I never thought that division would be the one that would be talked about, especially considering the fact that they did lose JJ McCarthy, Vikings, early in the season, but Sam Darnold definitely has proved to be a serviceable quarterback for them. Now, can he win the big game? Can he go to the NFC Championship? I don't know. But right now, the Lions seem to be the best team in the NFC, and despite the loss of Hutchinson, they are the team to beat in the NFC. And then, like I said, AFC has the good news in the AFC is that you have the Chiefs, the Ravens, the Bills, the usual suspects, and even the Bengals. Don't write the Bengals off yet. They are 3-4, and Joe Burrow has been playing well, and Steelers too. So you have like strong team. One thing about the Steelers is that they do have like great defense, and Russell Wilson's um, for our debut into Steelers didn't start that well, but they were able to overwhelm the Jets and Rodgers, and disappointing Jets right now. They are 2-5, and right now they don't seem to be looking winning the division at this point. Which I did before my preseason. I did call them to win the division, but right now they have a lot of work to do. Well, the good news for the Jets is that they do play the Patriots, who are right now at the bottom feeders of the NFL. Very disappointing loss, but one thing, like I always said from last week too, is that Drake May's performance has encouraged a lot of Patriots fans. But one thing I'm concerned about is the wasting of talent of Drake May with a very horrid performance on all phases of the game. They let a 96-yard punt return. The defense let a lot of rushing yards, close to about 180 yards, and they could not stop Jacksonville. And Patriots had zero run game, so that's a uh, um, recipe for disaster. And one of the things I would call about is that Gerard Mayo did call the team very soft. Of course, he did clarify by saying that they played very soft. But the damage has been done in my mind. As a coach, one thing you should never do is call the players soft. In this day and age of the NFL, where social media is abundant for all these players, um, without even making a play, they get on social media and make a lot of statements about how good they are. So anything that the coach says could be taken out of context. And right now, the locker room, I don't know about it, but he definitely, when you make a public statement like that, I could envision what could happen in the locker room. But it is a bad move by Gerard Mayo. This is something as a rookie coach you will learn, and hopefully he can first start with himself, which he did clarify in the post game interview. But the thing is, like, he needs to get back and get the team uh, going in one direction. I don't see the Patriots making any moves right now. They could probably maybe win one more game, but to me, it starts with the coach. The coach has to set the tone, and the players have to follow suit. And that's where we are. So we go to that, and then in week 8, we have a huge game for the Vikings. They're coming off a loss right now to the Lions. They travel to LA to play on the Rams, and that's where we start with the Thursday night games. And we'll do a quick preview of those quickly as well. Thanks again for listening, and have a good day.
Thank you for listening. Primo will be back soon.